Welcome to Rauta channel and Beyond the Cage 2025. This time we go all the back, more than 30 years in the history, because we have Gehenna. And we're not talking about some new lineups, we're talking about the old school days. And today, just prior to this interview here, they did some old school set featuring only 3 first albums. So obviously I'm really happy to finally get this Gehenna thing going on. And without further ado, let's introduce our guests of today. Sir, please state your name and what are you doing in the band?
Sanrabb, vocalist and guitar.
Thank you. And you, sir?
I am Dirge Rep, drums.
Drums. So as you can see, people, we have some older fellas here talking about the old days. Now,
I don't know about
Gehenna has been playing shows, obviously, with newer material before, like when we met the last time at Steelfest, but now it's all about the old school set. How does it feel to go back to these days, which are more than 30 years away?
Well, I think it sounds really good, actually, because we have a limited kind of space, because we don't have the things that we have in studio where you can put layers on top of everything, and yeah, so it's very stripped down, and so we have to choose and prioritize what is the sort of main theme of the song, and so I like that a lot, because yeah, it reminds me of you know I get, okay, short version. I think we played like a demo version.
Okay.
Live.
Yeah.
And I think that's really nice, because it sounds more like it did at the rehearsal place than in the studio.
No, it was really nice to hear.
Both good and bad, so I don't know. I was very excited to see how it would work on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Because it sounds really good at the rehearsal place. So, but who the fuck knows? I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Well, based on what I heard, the Grieghallen always have a good sound, and while obviously it sounds kind of a more modern in a way than back in the days, especially their first spell stuff. I mean, you captured that old feeling, because obviously the songs are right there, and now with the almost original lineup, it seems like...
but I can guarantee you, there was absolutely nothing perfect about it, and it wasn't back in the 90s either. So, yeah, I just like it because it's closer to what we did at the rehearsal place. So
Yeah,
that's
and also
it, basically.
all revisiting these songs, and since we are brothers, for so many years, all the magic just whoop came back, and it sounded how to say, not to say magical, but the atmosphere just poof, was suddenly appearing,
Yeah.
And I've been in and out of Gehenna and a lot of different lineups, and not revisiting so much these old songs, but it just like it is what it is. It just like something happens and we're somewhat controlling it, but we're not controlling it, because it's just like this beast, this just taking us somewhere.
Yeah.
And now we're taken back to our younger days, and hopefully we at least felt that we revisited it thoroughly, that it was like out of the grave almost. So, and I hope the others felt that too, because it really came close to the heart. This.
Also, I want to just fire in there. For example, we changed the set list 4 days ago or 5 days ago, something like that. And one of those songs, we haven't played those songs since '96.
Mm. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And so when he counts up like, well, actually it took us maybe just 2 tries, and then it sounded, well, okay, there you have it. And that was quite kind of special, because we haven't really, we haven't listened to it since then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also 2 of the songs on the set list was never meant for live in the first place. So it was more that each album we have recorded, we would sort of add on one song that we basically wrote in studio, and then that would be not thought of as like a live song, but we played both of them today. So yeah, it's very new for us. As
talking
well.
about
but
Eyes
it's
of the
also
Sun
very
and,
old. But we had never, played them live before. And we haven't played live together for a very long time. I think last time me and Per was on stage together was in 2015.
Oh, Hellfest.
Yeah.
No, it was
It was also in Bergen, I think.
Yeah,
But at least me and the bassist Svartalv, we have not played together since 95 or 96. So that was the first time today.
Now, what I want to ask about lineup is that obviously it's hard when you kind of get back to old crew, but it feels all totally different when you're not exactly 20 anymore. So how was the chemistry when you like figuring out, okay, we need some old pals, which we haven't played like said,
Well,
like 30 years
actually,
ago?
what happened was that I asked Per a while ago, both me and him, we have played in different bands and we played for a long time. And so I suggested that we should, jam and play together,
Let's get together.
Yeah, or see, have we learned anything after these years? And apparently not, because we ended up playing up the old songs. But it was very, like, it was very spontaneous. And also we had some re-releases now. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of just snowballed from there where, okay, now Stefan is back, me and Per.
But you cannot hide that since we also have known each other so long and playing together, there's like this dynamic there that is special for, at least for Gehenna now, right? It's probably the same in a lot of other bands, but there is a special dynamic. You cannot hide it, and we can read each other. We know where we are, and even I remember the first rehearsals was only me, him, and Dolgar, and Dolgar was back on guitar because previously he was also handled the bass.
Yeah,
but then he was back on guitar, and we played Morning Star, I think, and they just on the end I heard the same levels of the two guitars incorporating each other when they are fading out, that it was like in '94.
Yeah.
So it was like, it's, when you hear an old record, you smell something, or you get this feeling back. It was like
kind of nostalgic.
Yeah. No, but also, so we got together and playing, and also when Svartalv was back on bass also. Yeah, it sounded really good, and so I hope it translated through the speakers to the audience.
Now, the whole original lineup, however, wasn't on stage. If I understood correctly, at least the keyboard player wasn't the original one. So, is there a story why all the old people didn't get on stage? Or
well, it's just Salkana had her own personal commitments, and it was simply not possible for her to join us, which is unfortunate. But she also helped us out, or she was part of the process actually to rehearse the stuff and things. Yeah. So, unfortunately she could not join us, but definitely she supported us.
Okay, very cool.
As best as she could.
She's away in Denmark, having her own life, and was unable to dedicate herself to this. But her intentions were good. She wanted, but
life gets in the way, and all that
life
stuff.
was in the way, and it failed her. But still, again, she helped in the background.
She was a part of it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
We would have wanted for her to be a part of it, but.
Sometimes things happen.
Things happen.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're pretty used to that at least in the black metal scene.
Yeah, I guess that's
some
kind of
things will just explode.
Yeah, but luckily it was nothing like dramatic.
No,
like it usually
nobody
is,
got killed, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Now, talking about the old music is very, very fascinating, and I was especially thinking about it because prior to coming to Bergen, I was actually listening to first 2 Gehenna releases, and once again, it resonated me with live as well, is that how different Gehenna was from a lot of other bands coming from Norway, where a lot of other bands wanted to play fast or super raw or something else. You guys kind of kept it very much in the mid-tempo thing, focusing with a lot of these atmospheric keyboard parts and creating your own sound. How intentional was it to, okay, we're gonna do it different, instead of blast beats and all that stuff, keep it this kind of a mid-tempo, dramatic, moody thing?
No surprises there. I think it was not intentional. Just,
well, you look at the demo, you know, there was strings attached to it, you know, and keyboards, of course, but mainly when Sakana looked us up, you know, it became more complex. It became more experimenting, even just to have like the bass notes, you know. Instead there was patterns, you know, and themes instead of just like following. So yeah.
I also think we listen to a lot of different kind of music as well. And so that also influenced us. So me and Per, we would enjoy listening to soundtracks for Ennio Morricone.
Ennio Morricone, we're going all the way from Ennio Morricone, we're going to, with
and Kina, she was, can we edit this? Sakana, she was very into Joy Division, this kind of thing.
And of course our background too, we're bouncing from Diamandagalas, Master's Hammer, you know, Mayhem, Dead Kennedys, you know. We're all over the place, you know, and that's sort of reflecting for all our inputs within this. You know, we're not sitting at home listening to Apocalyptic Raids 24 hours, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But we are listening to it and we like it, you know, but there's also tons of other stuff to make this, how to say, this darkness in Gehenna is more complex than, I'm not gonna brag about that, you know, but and say some other bands, but in Gehenna it is more complex because we are taking every kind of stuff in there, you know, like all to beats, to ways of playing, to tones, everything. Suddenly we're goth, suddenly metal, suddenly we're classic, suddenly we're just like this beast, we're just like feeding it, you know.
Yeah. Another thing was, of course, tape trading.
Yeah.
With, for example, I saw Apsu yesterday, which was fucking great.
Yeah.
And we were good friends with, or still are, I guess, with Ulvar.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're also different.
Yeah, and also, and Per much more than me. But he was in contact with lots of different bands and was tape trading and stuff like that. So I'm sure that also affected us.
Yeah, but that first spell and Bergtatt, that was originally going to be a split album.
Okay.
And,
between Ulvar and Gehenna.
Yeah, and Metallium was like, oh my god, no, this is too fucking good, you know, I have to separate releases, you know. So, and I remember also we're having the Vargnat demo cassette arriving in your mailbox, you know.
That was...
And it's like, well...
That was fucking magic.
Yeah.
Actually.
So, and... that was special times, yeah. And also that included that Garm came over, did the song, did the vocals for Vinterrike on second spell. Mm-hmm. So we've always been kind of connected with Ulvar.
So kind of collaborating.
Yeah, kind of connected with Ulvar, you know, like.
Yeah.
And,
because there wasn't... and also the way we got signed, the first record contract we got was also just by coincidence, because it was... a Dutch couple who had a label called Necromantic Gallery, and they were good friends of Euronymous, and so they had some sort of connection there, I was also in contact with Uranus, but that was basically mainly just to order music and stuff like that. And then they just happened to visit Norway, and they got into a record store that was in Stavanger that sold metal, and they had our demo. And so that's how we got our first release. It was just like a Dutch couple
Cool.
coming to visit Norway, and Euronymous. I don't know if he was alive still then, or... No. Anyways, I don't know why they were here, but they were here, and so lo and behold, so we released.
And nobody
the
gave
first-
commented on it was second spell the vinyl was the release of.
Let's not talk about that. But anyways, so
Okay.
yeah, tape trading and lots of coincidences.
Yeah. Okay.
Helped a lot.
Now, one thing I of course want to also ask that when a lot of when a lot of other bands were from Oslo or nearby cities, and a lot of course was focused here on Bergen, and then there was of course Trondheim. But you guys are from Stavanger, or however you pronounce it.
That's correct.
How is the scene? How was the scene back then compared to these bigger
And
cities?
I can tell you that it was Gehenna and it was Carpathian Forest.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And
At least it was extreme
another
ones,
band,
you know.
yeah, and another band called Theater of Tragedy. which
Yeah.
is
Oh yeah,
also
they were
one of
but
the
they were
oldest.
gothic stuff.
Yeah,
totally
but so
different
were
vibe,
we,
yeah.
or almost-ish. But we were a bit more into the black metal thing. But definitely we do have like some goth, you know.
Yeah, well,
about it.
yeah. Now that you mention it, it's kind of evident. Yeah.
Yeah, but those were our good friends and rivals in Carpathian Forest, slightly outside of Stavanger. But that was basically it.
You
And then,
basically, you know, it is
And
same
also
in,
we were in contact with Enslaved.
yeah.
They are, well, from Haugesund, but also almost like it's, a part of that little.
Yeah, and you
West,
can backtrack, you know, until that black metal festival at Lusa Lottes, you know, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in the middle of the week, you know.
Wow.
With Marduk, Dissection, Enslaved, Gorgot, Gehenna.
The middle of a week.
The middle of the week.
And it cost 49 kroners
for
for it.
So basically nothing.
and everybody's there. Like everybody's there. Like there's no like crowds or anything. It's just like the bands are there and Oslo bands are there. So everybody, like the people who are watching are also the people in bands. It's not like,
okay.
it's not the sort of
Yeah.
line around the corner. Everybody knew what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like in the beginning, very much it was like other bands or other people or other interests. You know, they can have like an Enslaved Golgoth concert with like 100 people,
Yeah.
and still be why, you know, like. But it wasn't always like this, you know. That we
Yeah,
have catering outside, we have Grieghallen, you know.
Yeah.
You have a like, fucking expensive pass on you, you know.
Yeah.
You're, like this is. Actually quite absurd.
Yeah, of course. Now in hindsight, it feels
Yeah.
like weird. You had all these bands that would be really big,
Yeah.
and you know, playing one another.
But at the time in the scene, all the bands were big to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
You
were
know,
actually.
and inspirational, you know.
It was a big deal to travel to Oslo.
Yeah, of course.
And play in
Also
a
travel
tiny
to-
pub.
yeah, and traveling to Bergen, playing with Golgoth, you know, and meeting up, you know. Everybody's wearing knives. Everybody's aggressive. Everybody's like totally misanthropic and nasty to each other, but still friendly in some kind of way.
Yeah, you kind of figure out
you're
who
like,
is
who
in the
fuck are
same
you?
track.
What kind of fucking shirt is you wearing? You know,
Yeah, you're like a kind of a measuring.
Yeah, measuring up.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Oh yeah, oh, I heard about you. You know, like, and now it's just like, I don't know. It's sort of.
Now everybody's like hugging and meeting like,
yeah,
hey,
no,
all
that's
time.
not
It
true,
was
but,
really rough.
Our
That's what it
brains
was.
were not
And,
fully
we
developed
loved every
at the
moment
time,
of it.
so who'd have- But no, we're not friends with everyone.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but that's actually what I wanted to ask is like, because obviously we in Finland, we read news about Norway, Sweden, whatever. And obviously we don't know anything about how the scene is like. Are they friends with one another? Are they competitors? Do they have fights?
It's a good mix.
So obviously we were wondering like what's it be like in Norway when churches were burning, people were murdered, everything felt like super
sexy.
dangerous.
Totally sexy.
So and
I
of
remember
course,
also looking at seeing the cover of Tormkop Nos 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 and being like, oh yeah. And I look back and I'm always reading, you know, like no orders from Norway. I'm getting this.
Yeah. There was this Norwegian Finnish black metal war.
And Impale Nazarene, you know, it's like that's fantastic stuff to hear. You know, like okay, well, these guys are also on another trip.
Yeah.
You know, and it's totally aggressive, punkish black metal stuff. You know, like just.
Yeah, we always loved Impale.
We loved it, you know.
And Beherit,
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands, of course.
Yeah, totally inspirational. As was Master's Hammer, you know, like maybe Alastis, you know, Samael, you know, of course, Destruction, all the thrash Sodom,
Bathory,
you know.
of course.
Bathory, yeah. There's so much Bathory also in Gehenna.
Yeah.
If you really listen, there's like, we're really honoring Quarton.
And Thorns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The most important black metal band.
Yeah.
Yeah, make notes.
Yes.
But of course, talking about the old days, at which era or which year roughly world started to getting smaller? And by that I mean, when did the scene kind of grow to okay, you're actually going to gigs with these bands or getting know the people? When Norway started to get, say, kind of unified, in your opinion, when it comes to these bands, like figuring out, hey, we're actually, like you mentioned, you know, like getting to know one another, becoming the one tribe
that
kind of
started
thing.
from the get-go because of the tape trading stuff.
Yeah.
But but there was no thought of the music actually being popular.
No, it was not popular here.
Yeah, of course.
It was not popular here. They are scared. They are hating it. You know, what the fuck is the shit? And you're going to Germany, you're going to Holland, you're going to France, you know, and every other place than Norway. Because if you organize a show here, it could like summon up maybe 200, or it could also summon up 25.
Yeah.
Completely unstable, nothing to, you know, every band is just like always going outside of Norway. Maybe there's some shit going on in Oslo, but you know, it's always out. And then in later years, it's started to come back.
Yeah.
You know? But before here, it was like, it was Die Hard, you know, that.
Yeah, I think people are now romanticizing a lot about...
You earn nothing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are really romanticizing about 90s and thinking like, okay, these guys, they created these wonderful albums and suddenly they were big stars, even though big wasn't exactly the right word, but I think people don't really understand how different it was in the 90s when things were really like small clubs.
There's nothing here. There's nothing. There's a gas station, some shop, you know, farmland, you know, crazy dude. Some guy collecting maggots.
Yeah.
You know, like probably the same in Finland, you know.
Kinda, yeah. Very scattered.
There's fucking nothing here.
Yeah.
And we are aggressive because there's nothing. We are totally
frustrated, maybe.
Frustrated because we see the structures of our homeland. You know, where's the fucking Vikings at?
Yeah.
You know, there's no Vikings here.
Yeah, the Vikings extinct.
So and those frustrations also come with searching out music, getting like treats through music and exploring your musical abilities through other music and manifesting it, you know. So, but we're always the oddballs here, you know, like coming to a party with Gehenna in the 90s, we're going full blast Diamanda Galas and we're eyeballing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not comfortable.
Yeah, of course. Okay, let's get even back into the history before we talk about the later years. Let's start with you, Sanrabb. What was the first band that really ignited the spark? Like, okay, I'm gonna go deep into the world of metal.
That would have to be Iron Maiden. I'm so sorry, but that would have to be Iron Maiden.
Same here, but just curious.
No, well, I don't know, but.
How old were you back then?
But then after that, it was Bathory, actually. So I was really lucky about that. Because,
quite big of a jump from the mainstream to the underground.
Yeah, but I was really lucky. I just met a guy who played in a band called Incarnator, which is a really good band. And then he listened to this. And then he played Bathory, and I had never heard vocals like that before. I had heard Venom, but I was not a big fan. But that came after a while, because now I love Venom, of course. But yeah, so I would say Iron Maiden was the first band that got me into thinking maybe playing music. And Bathory was the band that made me think, okay, definitely this is the kind of music that I want to play.
Cool. What about you?
You know, I've always been sort of outside, you know, and but I started getting my inputs from Thrasher magazine. That's a skateboard magazine.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and I was skateboarding a lot, and you saw photos of the dudes, and they are wearing like Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Slayer, you know, all kinds of stuff. So I'm just searching this out, you know, and getting this feedback from skateboard videos and everything, and starting to, but you know, I cannot like take into myself that I was like, yeah, I was, you know, I wasn't tape trading back then. What we got was in the shop, or was commercially accepted, you know, like Wasp, Judas Priest, Exploited, Dead Kennedys, Slayer, Celtic Frost, you know.
Yeah.
It was in like Logo magazine, everything, you know, like TNT was pretty big, you know, you start somewhere, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, start like climbing these hills and like look so constantly looking for something, then you're like, suddenly you find Bolt Thrower and they're like, okay, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was so different back in the days.
Bolt Thrower as inspiration, a lot for me too, with the drums, you have like those like...
Yeah.
I forgot to mention
also.
Slayer. Slayer is...
Yeah.
Maybe you know the best band.
Maybe probably the best band with Bathory. I don't.
You know, Headbangers Ball, just waiting for the Triple Trash Street.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Recording it, putting it back, recording it, playing it. Seeing Vader there, like D-side, you know, like everything like, oh yeah, there, here we go, and you're just constantly finding, you know, finding Entombed, you're finding like Napalm Death.
Yes.
You know, and then you're like, you're going.
So it's exactly the same what we had in Finland too, in a way.
Of course,
so like,
of course.
Even though it's easy to think like, maybe the scene was different, but
no,
everybody was finding the same.
Yeah.
Now talking about a little bit later years, then okay, and you had first spell out and the second spell, which were obviously production values were way bigger. Then came Malice, which was suddenly like once again a level up. Suddenly things were like more professional and also darker, somehow like wow, even more captivating. That was when I really got into Gehenna, like okay, this is the band. And the funny thing is, I heard it in the fucking radio. You know, there was this show called Metalliliitto, which is Metal Union, and it was just really cool. One of my personal inspiration when it comes to any kind of metal journalism. He was always this older guy who would have this calm, cool voice. He would talk about bands like, okay, let's hear some songs from Norway. Or that, and you would hear Impel, Nazarene, Darkthrone, whatever. And I remember, because I was in the commercial school and went into school, and okay, this was this Malice. Like, what the hell is this? This is a band I haven't heard, because I didn't even know black metal bands. Of friends who listened to black metal that much. It was like a few, and then it was like, okay, this is some very dark stuff. And once again, we're getting a little bit back to that while other bands want to go really fast, or some bands were like really clumsy, and you were like,
on Malice, we are listening to a lot of heavy metal.
Yeah.
On this record, a lot of heavy metal, you know. You can clearly hear Wasp in there, and
that's.
But also we had the same radio station. It's called the Heavy Rock Show.
Okay.
It was on FM radio. Two dudes running it out of a cabin in Stavanger.
They would play
like Bon Jovi. The one guy was like fluffy, and the other guy was like dark.
Yeah.
So you have Bon Jovi living on a prayer, and then you have King Diamond.
Quite variety.
King Diamond the Candle. That's why I first heard King Diamond was on Heavy Rock Show.
Yeah,
and also the Candle.
they
was like,
they had something called Death Metal Halvtimen, which would be basically two kids playing death metal for half an hour, and we would listen to that or record it on tape and listen to it, you know.
Yeah, and Carcass.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Carcass.
Yeah, but it's really funny, you know, because had it not been for those people, you know, we would not all be gathered here tonight. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it takes a village or whatever, you know, and it was, it really is a lot up to circumstance or
Yeah,
Tilfeldigheter.
Entombed, Left Hand Path, Corporal Jigsaw Quandary with Karka.
Oh, that's the great drumming intro into that song.
remember
Morbid
that.
Angel, hello, Morbid Angel.
Eating waffles and listening to Entombed was something,
You know?
for me.
But after Malice came Admiral Black, and after that you started going into death metallic ways.
Yes.
Like, what was that change all about? Because I don't think anybody would expect after 4 albums of pure black metal with Gehenna that you would have this death metal coming out.
No, I don't know. I just think I wanted to make more aggressive music, and then I figured out. Actually, I want to make more black metal music, so that's why I ended up writing the WW.
Thank you so much. So it became death metallic because more aggression was needed.
Yeah, basically.
But also you had these lineup changes over the year. Did that affect? Was the lineup affected by the music changes, or did the music changes affect the lineup?
No, you always wrote all stuff, like regardless if there was someone there or not. You always have stuff.
Yeah,
He always has riffs. He always has something. That's like a constant.
he ended
by the
up.
way.
Cheers.
He ended up playing with lots of different bands, and so did
you.
and so did I. And
We've been whoring ourselves out, and checking shit out. Yeah. And it was good fun.
Yeah.
It was. We were in Mayhem. I was in Golgoth, Enslaved,
Yeah, that was another thing what I wanted to ask. Now that you mention it, it's pretty interesting of your choice of bands. Where have you been playing after you left Gehenna, and then you went kind of like big steps, and in a way, big shoes to fill.
But and then you have this like little Norway again, like, hey, you know how to play guitar. You can, all right, you know this guy, This guy, he's good,
that's why we're
He's
back
pretty
together.
crazy. He's crazy, but he's good. He learns fast. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how different was it to play, just to distract just a little bit, how different it was suddenly to play in bands like, say, Enslaved versus playing in Gehenna? Because the style is obviously different, but...
Yeah, of course, much better to play in Gehenna than that.
Yeah, of course, but still how different?
Gehenna will always be closest to my heart.
Yeah. But I mean, not to disrespect any band, but just out of curiosity.
Kidding, of course.
Yeah, and then
Hold kjeften.
in that time they were Enslaved were having released the Eld album, and there was kind of a rocky bottom for those. People didn't understand so much about that record, so they hired in 2 goons like me and Roy Kronheim, totally fucked up on speed, and took it from there, And I look also, it was great times. There was also troublesome times, but great times. When I look back, we're playing the songs like from Hårdanes Land like twice as fast.
Yeah.
We're totally jacked up, just like trying to get the grind in there,
Yeah.
And then of course with the Blue Ham release, and then with the other ones, like trying to like mend it back up. But it's all good experience, nothing bad to say. Shit happened also, and good things happened. It was great,
Yeah.
But then it was all about, there was no other life than playing music.
Yeah.
That's what it was, you come home, you rest, and you go like rehearse again.
Yeah.
And I just get touring 2 times a year,
Yeah.
And
Quite different years versus the early ones.
And but you also remember all these old clubs, like you're thinking, it's a 400 capacity,
Yeah.
Like, and there's warm beer and cheese sandwiches, and
Everything you need.
Nothing glamour, really.
see the toilet in the bus, it's so filled up. It's like see the salt crystals and the valve and the ventilen. Yeah, like fucking shithole.
So is that why you joined Gehenna again?
Yeah, to get the glamour.
of course.
Get the glamour going on once again.
That's what I thought.
Now, Gehenna hasn't been that active recent years when it comes to albums. So, what's the story with later years of Gehenna becoming, I don't know, more of like holding back or slowing things down?
Beauty takes time.
Nicely worded.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, but
just been doing other stuff, and but I wrote.
It happens when it happens.
But I wrote a hell of a lot of stuff in 2017, and me and him, we were listening to it, and we sort of got stuck with it, or it sounded really great, but the band at the time when we were rehearsing it, I don't know, we sort of got stuck with it. The last good thing we did was in 2013 with the album Unravel, which is my personal favorite.
Which is quite different from any of the previous
Yeah.
They're all
releases.
quite different if you look
Yeah,
at them.
they
you
are.
still hear it's Gehenna there, but it's still like other aspects of.
Yeah, but it's kind of like third era if you think about the early ones.
Yeah, but
ending
still,
with
still
Amber
there's
and Black,
still
and
it's
then this.
Gehenna, but
yeah.
still it's like.
Yeah.
No, but
That's what's so great.
it sounds
I think,
simple,
personally.
but it's true. My favorite things are the first spell and Unravel, and also I love a lot of the demo versions of the songs that will become second spell. And no, but the reason why we are so slow, I'm not sure, but lots of other stuff going on. And also I did session work with other bands.
Yeah, you were active while Gehenna was kind of like holding back, so you had
Yeah.
other roles to fill.
Yeah, but that was great as well, you know, because you learn a lot just following orders, you know.
I guess
Yeah,
it's in a way easier than being a captain of your own ship, just to.
Yeah, but it's nice to be, you know, captain of the sinking.
Yeah, that was.
But anyways, so I don't know, but we have lots and lots of material now, and me and him, we were going through a lot of it, and I wrote a
Yeah,
whole
that's
bunch of
what's-
stuff in 2017. I basically left it, and now we're going to reopen it again.
So-
and also I have written songs for a complete album on top of that.
So we are really finally getting some new Gehenna stuff out finally.
Yes, definitely.
Is there some kind of a release window?
No, actually,
Let's not jinx it.
as soon
Yeah, of course not, but-
No, but as soon as we play the show in Bergen, and we just did that, then we will go and have a few weeks off, and then we're going to start on a new album,
Awesome.
and then we will.
No pressure, but it's gonna be awesome.
No, but we have to do it. So, but we will do. But then
But
we
also
will
all-
play another show in Germany later on in the year. But between then and now, or we will start working on the new songs.
But it's also all the years of, let's say, experience, you know, have taught us ways to manipulate the sound into what we actually want to hear. Because the first time we went in the studio, you know, we didn't even bring any CDs. You know, we had like this is the sound we have on when we rehearse, you know, fucking put the mic on it and record it. But you know, later times you could like bring some CDs, like I like this kind of sound here,
Yeah,
this kind of
yeah.
snare, this kind of
reference.
but it never is actually, you know, it never is, you know.
No, but the thing was,
But we have learned through the years.
Yeah, but I
to
don't
when,
think
when we're entering that we actually no you have to go there, you have to go there, and I want more of that, I want more of this, and that takes a little time, you know, because you have to, if you change the twang of a hi-hat, you know, it might not fit that guitar.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And it
You
has
have the
to-
kind
it
of
has to-
frequencies.
Yeah. And then you think about, oh, what about those old fucking records? They didn't think about that. Yes,
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of myth, which I also.
But
you know,
I must put in one point here. I'm actually very
Tico Studio.
yeah, been there, done that.
well. I'm quite happy. Try as we may to. Oh, we want this kind of sound, but luckily we never ended up with that. We ended up with our sound instead.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, of course.
But I know what you mean. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
we
that,
know a
that,
little
the
bit more what
lag-
we're doing,
yeah.
but not too much.
Because Gehenna will always be kind of a cunning beast. It is kind of cunning, this music, you know, slick, cunning, and will trap you in ways you don't experience. Like, will suck you in. So that's what we always wanted also, like to have this not ritualistic feel, but you're caught in, you're made to listen instead of like, oh yeah, here's the, you know, like you're oh, what's going on, you know, what's going on here? Like,
I guess it helps when you have these less of these all these aggressive blast beat parts, and you get more into the world.
Yeah, but the blast can also be like how to say suggestive, you know, like with the werewolf or WW, like this is. But it's like it's fast, of course. It's aggressive, but it's also lulling. You know, you get like this hum to it,
kind of a flow in a way.
Yeah. So one thing is to play like really fast, blah, blah, blah. But one thing is to actually have that, you know. Kind of like with Mr. Istum Satanas as well, you know. He's like just like fucking playing with that riff.
No, you know? That's a very good way to put it, because I don't think a lot of us audience even realize it.
No, but that goes back with old style of playing too, you know, like you're not trying to show off.
Exactly.
You're creating atmosphere and style, you know, because this is your style.
Yeah.
And a style of playing this these ways, these catches, this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like just like.
So you're almost like riding the drums rather than just machine gunning it.
Because in a way, at least with drums, you know, you can trace back. Oh, I heard that drum fill there on Morbid Angel. I heard that one.
But those are great tributes when you can like.
Yeah, of course. There's always some tribute in there. Like,
That's a great
also
thing.
like the old Bürsten breaks, you know, with only bass drums, you know, like, you know. Just like one lousy cymbal, you know, and then no drum fills, just like straight in, you know, like that's like, just the riff is deciding. It's not that the drums are like taking you on some journey. It's a riff that's like, hey, paying attention, making you pay attention, you know.
Yeah.
And the drums are like in the background and everything, like, so it's like a riff-based music, not like.
That's actually very good that you describe it, because
death metal things, you know, like.
Because I think there is a lot of audience who especially don't play instruments and who just, you know, get what they hear, and they don't always understand how a certain thing is done, whether it's about some bass line here or how the drums, hi-hats or snares or whatever.
Sometimes in Gehenna, the drumming pattern is a riff, you know, because we will have like accents. You know, and like
dynamics,
it makes it.
We even hear it on the background now.
He has his own riffs on the drums, you know.
Yeah. Before we conclude, now that we have pretty much covered all the stuff, one thing I wanted to ask is how different you feel the scene of nowadays. I mean, just, you know, how you see it as a musician, going to shows, going to festivals and all that stuff, as opposed to, say, back in the early 90s. We covered some things here obviously already, but what I mean is like, how do you feel it as a musician?
Can tell you
we don't like paying the fucking taxes.
I can tell you everything is more about people taking more than they are giving. This is how I feel about the scene.
Yeah.
So fuck them and thank you.
Fuck you and thank you. What about you? How do you feel as a musician? Like how we mentioned about those horrible.
No, but maybe I should explain what I mean.
Feel free.
Okay, so everything. It is like everything else, you know. It starts out very small, for a certain select few, and then it gets bigger, and the word spreads, and then people think, hey, we can actually make some money out of this, and then it gets watered down, and now it's just no good news from Mr. Me.
Yeah, but at least you've been.
But there are people like yourselves and ourselves, and you know.
I mean, we've been to places
you
where
know
a lot
what
of,
I mean.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
Everyone is.
We've been to places where some people don't dare to go because
everyone gets.
we don't give a fuck.
Fucked over.
Yeah. So how about
Yeah,
you? You seen this in various bands as much as Morten, and you seen how things have changed, maybe with the pissed bosses and all that.
But I think shit is really mild now.
Yeah.
And, people don't have a fucking clue about how extreme it was, and how
Yeah.
what people are even writing in letters, saying to each other, or like be like, he's shooting. I'm not gonna say anything of that.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's really extreme, and it was just like pushing all the wrong buttons. You're like, fuck, you know.
Yes.
But the constant thing is, you cannot fake this. You've got to fucking earn this shit. No
Yeah.
matter how you're talented on your computer, or you've gone too much schools or whatever, you've got to fucking earn it.
Yeah,
And
there's
that's the
no
basic
shortcut.
hard truth is, you know, if you're a one-hit wonder, you know, see you later, you know, you got to fucking earn this shit.
Yeah, true
And,
that.
that's what it was back in the day, and that's what it still is, you know, no matter how big we are now in luxurious environments and with great sound. You know,
Yeah,
it's not like that. Yeah, I saw the show, but, you know, some sound guy was there and like... And everybody's
To
like,
quote our great friend, some things never change, some things
Oh,
never
yeah. That's, well, those who know,
Skål,
know.
skål.
Skål to that quote.
Yeah,
All right.
Carpathian Forest.
We're ready to conclude with this wonderful discussion, and now it's time for these short and quick questions. Don't overthink it. Let's just go by intuition. Let's start with you.
Oh.
Your all-time favorite album would be? Don't overthink it.
I think Under a Funeral Moon.
What about you?
Rubber Soul with the Beatles, I think.
What's your favorite band of all time? The overall thing.
Bathory and Slaver. I can't say.
You?
Wow.
That band I don't know, but it sounds good.
Mysticum.
Okay, that's a wild one.
What?
Why?
But I agree. Of course,
Yeah, but
they
why?
are fucking amazing. But I didn't.
They were also fucking different. I remember that Sabasios demo, you know, everything. I know them pretty well. They were close with me. So that was just like some wild shit going on. Mysticum, huh? No, Mysticum is great.
Okay, let's go with that. One place, if you could choose one place where you would like to play the show, if you could choose any place in the world, where would you like to take Gehenna?
China. No, I'm just
Your
kidding.
turn, but yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
you
can wait
used
my
your turn. What about you? One place.
Iceland,
Why?
because I think we would fit in there.
True. And where in China would you play?
I would never. Well, actually, no offense to China, but where I would really love to play.
Abu Dhabi.
No. No, I would like to play in Brazil. We never played there before.
Okay, that's a good one. Always come to Brazil. Everybody knows the meme. Okay, that one band you would be the perfect warm-up band for. Name your dream team. Can be a dead too.
This is dangerous grounds.
I know, but that's why. Quick fantasy questions which don't get quick answers.
Thorns.
Okay, wow, that's a good one. You?
Thorns.
All right. And now I guess it's good time to tell you people
I
right
met
there.
him earlier today. He is my great hero.
And Thorns is coming up with new material, and it's something that you probably should peel your ears for. Now I want to thank you, both of you guys. Thank you, Sanrabb
you.
or Morten, and thank you, Dirge Rep or
Yes.
Per. And thank you for all this good conversation going back and all that stuff. And now, dear audience, do yourself a favor, do what I have done, go through the whole discography of Gehenna and enjoy the journey. You will find links in the description box where they're like band links, social media stuff and beyond. And enjoy the ride. You might have to take a cup of coffee or maybe a couple of beers or whiskey or whatever your favorite poison is, but it's enjoyable ride. And if you have the time, go for the lyrics, go for the covers, and just let it indulge. You know, let the magic happen. And then go to see these guys live when you can, because you never know it's when too late. So don't miss the moment and enjoy. Thank you for watching. This is Rauta, Beyond the Gates 2025, and stay metal.
Right.
Thank you so much. This was a way bigger and longer. Thank you so much. Really, really lot of great answers and all the stuff. Now, one favor I need to ask you before you go is we take those quick photos.